So here is a quick video on potential energy and work. Okay, so for me, potential energy is a super confusing topic. I think the idea of a potential energy is to represent work done by a force that is internal to the system. Okay, so potential energy can be depleted as internal work adds to the system's kinetic energy and vice versa. Okay, so it's pretty confusing, I think, but I'll kind of show you the main thing you need to know. So we kind of talked about this last time, right? Okay, so it depends on whether we look at the Earth as being in or out of the system, all right? So here, right, if I want the Earth to be in the system, I'll start with gravitational potential energy, okay? And then the ball will fall to point B, and then it will gain kinetic energy, okay? And then the gravitational potential energy will be 0, right? So if I do a delta, right, being a final UG minus initial UG, then I get negative MGH, right? Because there's been a loss of energy, so-called loss of energy, okay, in the form of MGH, all right? Okay, if I look at it from the other way, if I don't put the Earth in the system, okay, then I would say that the ball has no energy at A, and then at B, it's going to have kinetic energy, okay? So it's increasing its energy. So in order for something to increase its kinetic energy, it's going to have work done to it, all right? So in this case, the Earth would add work into the system, okay, with the gravitational force, and that would turn into kinetic energy, okay? So in this case, I would say the work done by gravity is positive MGH because it's adding energy to the system, okay? All right, so what that does is that gives this really crazy thing that always makes me kind of feel confused, that the potential energy of the system, the change in potential energy of the system, is the negative of the work done. Okay, so I wouldn't read too much into it. I would just know that that's a truth. Okay, and if you kind of go through this example, like that helps me see why, right? A change in potential energy is actually the negative of the work done. Okay, so that's just something to know and to make sure that you have in your mind. Okay, so here's a couple little things I just pulled from somewhere. Okay, so here's the potential energies that we've talked about. Okay, and then work done by a conservative force, right, like gravity, like we're talking about, or the spring force, okay, is just the work is the negative of the potential energy. Okay, and then you'll kind of see when that happens. I know it's kind of confusing. It's kind of confusing. Okay, all right. Let's see. Okay, let me stop that one then.